because you want to know what will happen, especially if you are still at an early stage in the startup. Right of first refusal and preemption rights. I usually like to talk about them both in the same manner, because the difference is very critical, or very, like, slight. Um, Basically, they both have the same meaning, but which is that if the company, or not the company, if the founders, or the shareholders, any of them wants to sell his shares, the right of first offer or the right of first refusal is triggered, and this means that you have to offer these shares to the other investors or to the other shareholders first, and if they say no, then you would be able to proceed and provide to be able to proceed and uh, and have the transaction with the third party. If they say right, then they get the shares instead of that third party. And in both cases, when you notify them, you tell them, like, I'm going to sell these shares for an X amount of money, or against these terms and conditions. A preemption right is a little bit different, which relates to when the company raises capital, like increases its capital. So the subscription to the capital increase has to be offered also to the existing shareholders first, before offering them to third parties. So the main difference between a right of first refusal and a preemption right of first refusal is given with respect to the existing shares, but the preemption right is given with respect to the capital increase. Tag along and drag along, usually people like mess them a little bit, but one of them is for the investors and the other one is for the founders. Or, like, let's say one of them is for the majority and one of them for the minority. Tag along is for the minority, which means that, like, for example, if three people owns 40% of the company, or like 60, let's say 60 or 70% of the company, and they are selling their shares, then they would have to sell the shares of the minority with them. So I will tag along with them to be sold in the same transaction. Drag along is the other way around. So we have someone who wants to buy 100% of the shares, and we own only 60 or 70%. So we want to oblige the minority to come with us. So that's the drag along. So the tag along is for the minority to oblige the majority to join them. Drag along is the flip side of it, where the majority oblige the minority to join them in the transaction. Does anyone have any questions about these 5 items? Anti-dilution, right of first refusal, preemption rights, tag along, drag along? Yes. Ziad, yes? Okay. I will move forward, and then we can postpone the questions before the tips. For the founders, you can have other provisions, like uh, uh, for the founders, you can have the lockup, and the lockup means that they are locked into to the company, and you have to make sure that you understand this. There are 2 different types of lockup. You want to lock them up as, like, employees and management of the company, and you want to lock them up as also in terms of, like, their transfer of shares. So you need to make sure that the term sheet cover both scenarios if you want that in the first place. And there is also reverse vesting for founders, which means that you make them, like, earn their shares again through spending a certain period of time with the company. And then you would have good leaver and bad leaver provisions, which basically means that if you leave the company on good terms, you retain the shares. If you leave the company on bad terms, you have to sell back the shares at a very minimal price to the company. And then you have the ESOP, which is also one of the things that you need to worry about, whether it's post-money or pre-money. ESOP pre-money means that it dilutes only the founders. ESOP post-money means it dilutes everyone, including the investors that are joining this term sheet. So this is what we need to